copied the link.
Trying to make sure the service goes through.
It still say upcoming.
Still say upcoming.
Introduction, please.
No, it should be on.
Executive producer.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
Did y'all say it's on there?
Yeah.
It's on now, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I heard it.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites of the Lions Den Camp down here in Jacksonville, Florida. That's right. We're out here to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, also known as Babylon, Edom's kingdom on this earth, ran by the wicked, and also to announce the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua, all right, and current events, and how the Lord has his hand in everything that's happening upon this earth. But before we do so, we're going to give praises to the Most High and his Son in the ancient Lashawan Kodash, which means the holy tongue. I'm going to say, Kal, Alayim, La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amah. All right, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders, and shalom to you, Akim, and Akwati, my children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Shalom. All right, we're going to get into some current events just to kind of start it off. Main things on the table right now is the debt ceiling. And then you have other events like World War III, Russia moving into the nuclear phase of this war over there in Ukraine. You have situation with Elon Musk being approved by the FDA for brain C-hips. All right, and on the other hand, you have this right here. Get this real quick. Go ahead, bring that up. Luke, what I asked for earlier. Yeah.
This is Luke chapter 21, verse 25. And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations.
Right. See that? All right. So last week, you had what you would call a supernova out there in the Milky Way galaxy. They said like a star exploded or something, man. And then you have what you call CMEs, coronal mass ejections. That just happened about 2 days ago, and now you got everybody getting sick again, the allergies. All right, and they can try to use these, what do you call them? Events. Manipulate it to impose their will upon the people like a scare tactic. That's right. All right. So you're gonna hear them talking about they got something called the Wuhan. I think I can say that, right? Sheesh, you know what I'm saying? Start talking about that shit.
Kind of lightly.
Tight, man.
Put emphasis on Wuhan.
Yeah, like that. We got to do that. Wuhan. You know that Wuhan. But no, man. So these are times we're living in. You got the prince of the power of the air. Manipulating the weather, and you got something called sunspots pointing directly at the earth. So you're gonna have what? Major weather events. All right, this week. Now let's get into finish that out real quick. What he said, and also on earth, distress of nations. Yeah, this is why the Lord said this. Somebody get that spirit of prophecy. Go ahead, brother.
It says, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
That's right. The sea and the waves roaring, man. You're going to have earthquakes, all right? Hurricanes, typhoons. I think one just hit somewhere, Korea?
Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay? Yeah. In North Cali? It was a hurricane or something like that?
No, it was an earthquake.
It was an earthquake.
A tsunami on the way to the Philippines.
You got a tsunami. See that? So what we're saying is this. Bring that up.
Spirit of prophecy.
Yep.
All right, this is Revelation 19:10. And I fell at his feet and worshipped him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
There you go, the spirit of prophecy, right? So that's how you know the spirit of the Lord's men. That's going to teach according to the prophecies. All the things that's coming to pass right now, the current events, we're in the time of prophecy, man. But he said, seek him, worship in spirit and truth. All right. He said, worship the Father. But how can you worship the Father and speak in prophecy if it's not in truth? Like you got IUIC, they're not teaching the truth in prophecy. You got ISUPK, they're not teaching the truth in prophecy. Now you're starting to see the fruit that they bear. You're starting to see their moral character go down, degrade. All right, go ahead.
This is John chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Right, the salvation is not for the whole world. Salvation is only for the Israelites. That's what that means right there. Go ahead.
23. But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
Right.
For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
There you go. You got to worship him in spirit and in truth, man. So even when you're dealing with the prophecies, it has to be according to the truth. All right. So let's get into Habakkuk chapter 2. And then second Ezra, what's that, 15 or 16, where it say good show good cheeks. That's 16? Yep.
15 to 16.
Yep. Ecclesiastes 12, where it say the grasshopper shall be a burden. Yep. Bring precept out, you good.
This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And when all these trials and tribulations, Jacob's trouble, famine, etc., man, all you gotta do is stay focused on the Lord. He gonna keep you from all these troubles. You ain't gotta worry about no tsunami. You ain't gotta worry about no Gurgle troops. You ain't gotta, if you in the spirit of the Lord, you got his armor on, you covered by his spirit, you gonna be in good case.
Right, yeah. And the hour of temptation is literally talking about the sea hip. Revelation chapter 13. All right, the MOTB. So we're coming down to the wire. It's coming down to the point where they're gonna switch the currency over, man. Going from fiat currency, funny money, and they're gonna switch it over to digital. That's the only way that America will have some way of still standing as a strong economy or an economic power in the world, is by switching their currency over to digital dollars instead of paper money. All right, and even then, you still got the BRICS going against that. So all these nations are losing faith in the dollar. Even the investors are losing faith in the dollar. That's why you have this whole debacle over the debt ceiling coming up. Somebody get these precepts real quick. We're gonna go into it. Let's start with the other one I asked for. What was the other one? Ecclesiastes 12.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 5. You want me to start at verse 5? Or you want me to go?
Where I say the almond tree?
Yep. Verse 5.
Yep.
Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper.
I gotta break that down. We gotta start with each one. Go ahead. Read it again.
And fear shall be in the way, and
right. So fears are in the way of these people, man. They're starting to see, what do you say, the ventures shall fail. So people looking at college, they starting to see like, damn, graduate for what? What I'm gonna do with my degree? I'm gonna be in debt. People's money, the internet. Any course of life, a path that people are taking in this life, they're starting to see that is danger ahead, man. Especially for America. They're starting to see the prophecies. They're starting to see Russia talk about war. They're starting to see the dollar crashing. A couple years ago, we talked to people about it, and they didn't know what the hell we was talking about. They'll say, nah, Obama got it. Obama gonna fix it. Trump ain't gonna let that happen. But now look, now you got Biden in power. And with Biden in power, they're saying he's gonna fail America with this coming debt ceiling raise. And it's really not on him. Who is really on is the Republicans. All right, so we're gonna get into all of that. Go ahead.
And the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden.
See that? The almond tree represent the prophecies. The prophecies are flourishing right now. You see that? And the grasshopper shall be a burden, meaning the smallest thing could tilt the scale in this place. And now you got the debt ceiling. Then you got a dollar crash looming from the BRICS and all these other nations, de-dollarization, losing faith in the currency. And now you have all the investors that give loans to America. They want their money back, and they're ready to give up what you would call their treasury bills or treasury bonds. All right. So they're ready to ditch their treasury bonds. Go ahead.
And desire shall fail.
And desire shall fail. Everything that people desire in this society, the scriptures say the mirth of the land is gone. So everything that they desire from this American dream is starting to fail, man. All right? That was it on that? Dealing with the prophecy?
Because man go to a long home.
No, that's it. Yeah. Oh, no, get that one too. Because man, what?
Because man goeth to his long home.
That's right.
And the mourners go about the streets.
That's right. They said 6.3 billion people took that what do you call it?
Free throw.
Free throw. They took the old.
They took the old snake venom.
They took the venom.
Yeah, the venom.
They said 6.3 billion. Think about that. That's a lot of people. And it's a Trojan horse.
Con.
You know, they call it a payload. You know, and it's a timed payload. But you got the people dropping off, depopulation. So all this is happening right now. Revelation chapter 6. All right, so let's keep going. I'm gonna say it's a lot. All right, we're gonna bounce around. That was it on that. So yep, so many people dying, people starting to be like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna see you tomorrow. All right, yep. Just like they would in the middle of a war. You'll be talking to somebody, then 5 minutes later, that person be blown up or gone. It's starting to be like that out here. Because why? We wrestle not against flesh and blood. I need that real quick. I just need the precepts I call for real fast. I got you.
All right, this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Right. So yep. Through wisdom, through the spirit of truth, through the comforter, we're able to stand against the wiles of the devil and not fall victim to it. Like Tazariak and them, man. Like ISUPK. And the Lord said that, man. Those that build their house upon a stone, when the destruction comes, their house should not fall. All right? And that's what happened.
All right, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Right, because whether you know it or not, these people are at war with you, man. And that's why people are dying at a rapid rate, because it's depopulation. Whether you know it or not, you're in the boxing ring against your contender, which means against Satan, which means adversary. All right? But you're going to fight whether you like it or not, if you have the elect. All right? So that's what we're wrestling against. Spiritual wickedness in high places, the Illuminati, the elites, these globalists, these Satanists that believe in the devil, that want to bring out a satanic religion upon the earth. Okay, that's what we're fighting against. It's not all political. This is spiritual. All right, precept. I asked for. Yeah,
Habakkuk chapter 2 and 6.
All right. Next one shall be cheap.
Yeah, that one first. My bad. Yeah, I need that one first. Then Habakkuk. Then we can rock out at that.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so cheap. Shalaki. Let me start over. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 21.
Right.
Behold, victuals shall be so good.
Start at 18.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
Right, so this is the beginning of it, man. All right, the beginning of sorrows, which goes into hell, a hellish condition on earth, Revelation chapter 6. He enlarges his desires as hell, you know? And he said what?
Great deal.
He said, read that again? Yeah, great death and great mourning, right?
Con.
That's right, man. This is a time of great mourning upon the earth, a lot of death upon the earth. Go ahead, brother.
The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
There you go. He said they're going to be afraid of that which is high. All right, these nations. So, you know, they said, I saw a post yesterday. They said the Pentagon is trembling. They said the Pentagon is trembling. They said NATO is trembling. Right? Go ahead, brother.
The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
Right. So what shall we do when these evils shall come? That was a past scoffer right there. You know? So what shall we do when these evils shall come? All right? So all these people that's living it up, you know, trying to ignore what's going on, saying evil shall not prevent them. The Lord's saying, what you gonna do? I'm gonna run into my bunker. Well, I got what one dude said, what they call it? The stick. He said, we got sticks up here.
Yeah.
Right. The scriptures say money can't save you either. So what you gonna do in that day? All right, interjection? All right, go ahead.
Proverbs 11:28. It says, "He that trusteth in his riches shall fall,
There you go.
but the righteous shall flourish as a branch."
That's right. Why they gonna fall? Because when the riches of this world, which really goes into the dollar right now, you know, that's what a lot of people have. The dollar, that's the reserve currency. So people have a lot of that, and they have trust in, they make that their God, that their power. They saying God they trust, then they're gonna fall with it. You see that? They got their mind in this world. So when this place falls, they're gonna crash with it. All right. That's right, man. So you can't trust in these riches because we're not wrestling against the money. You're wrestling against spiritual wickedness in high places that control the money. These elite bankers, they set it up to where the dollar is a fiat currency and it's set up to crash. It's set up to be a temporary currency so they can pull the rug from under everybody's feet. Or they call it, what do you call that? The switch. The sleight of hand, bait and switch. Right? Two card Monty, that's what it's called. So they take one card out of your hand, and next thing you look, you got a different card in your hand. So that's what they're doing with this currency, man. All right. So they got it set up now to where the issue with the debt ceiling. All right, let's keep going with this real fast. I'm gonna read this a little bit more.
All right, this is back at 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Right, so the Lord is sending all these plagues right now and these scourges for everybody to get their shit right, get their shit together, to get a feel of the fire that's getting close. All right, give everybody time to wake the hell up. The Lord is trying to correct everybody. Go ahead.
But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness.
There you go. So Jake, 2/3 not gonna turn from their wickedness, but the elect will. They're gonna see the time of judgment is near, and they're gonna get right. Get your house in order. But not the wicked. They're gonna continue to do wickedly. Yes, yep.
Nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Right, so they're not even mindful of the scourges, man. You got Jacob walking around sipping tea. No, not mindful of anything that's going on. You know? And the victuals, meaning the food and everything, is so cheap. You go to Walmart, what they say, everyday low prices. Well, that's about to change, man. Not only because the dollar crashed, not only because they raised or lowered interest rates, but because of this coming debt ceiling. All right, they said the current debt is at what, 31 trillion? $31 trillion, and it originally started off at 75 million. back during the American Revolutionary War with France. America borrowed money from France. Why did they borrow the money though? They borrowed the money from France, $75 million, so they could pay for war materials. Definitely, and they could pay for the social construct. And they could pay for people at their schools. They could pay for workers now at the warehouses. You see that? So they could have money to pay their workers in the midst of the war. This is what helped to establish America as a society, as a country. The investors, all right? So now that debt has to be paid back. So you'll say, hey man, you're gonna owe 75 million. We're gonna owe 75 million, so how much more can we owe that we can pay back? So let's raise our debt ceiling up. How much money we can borrow? Well, let's raise it up to 90 million. You see that? Other than that, we can't take no more from you because we can't pay it back. You see that? You might offer it, but we can't take it because I had to raise my debt ceiling. You see that? So now they've raised the debt ceiling so much with the 1930s, the Great Depression, the 1920s, the Spanish flu, the Vietnam War, what else? 2008 crash, the housing crash, and now you have the current market crash that's coming up now, 2000 as well. So they've been raising the debt ceiling. You had QE1, QE2, QE3, QE4, but they just dumping more money, printing it and putting it into the system, loaning it to America. Now America is saying we can't pay it back. What's that called? A default. All right? And all the people that invest in America, they'll say this. You got short-term loans, and you got long-term loans. I'm going to do a lesson like short graph. But you got short-term loans and long-term loans to where if I invested 10, I knew it was gonna get loud. As soon as I started talking about it, I knew it. Like, as soon as I go into it, it's gonna start. Well, you might invest in something for 30 years. 30 years down the line. So if you got an investment, if I invest in your business and I say, hey, I'm gonna put $50 in there for 30, for 30 years or whatever, for a year. I'm not guaranteed that you're gonna have my money, which would be called face value. You promise me if I give you 50, you'll give me 100 at the end of the year. But at the end of the year, you might not have that because you're going to war with them over here. Or they're creating things to fight against your money. So now, I'm not guaranteed to get my $100 face value at the end of the year. So what do? You create something called a yield curve. A yield curve. The yield curve is like another way of saying interest rate. So now you got an interest rate to where throughout that year, I pay you interest on what you loan. So I give you a little bit more extra every month. You see that? That's called a yield curve. So that's for the long-term investors. The yield curve, right? The yield curve is the interest rate that you get extra money. But then you got that $50 in the face value that you promised at the end of the year, $100, right? We're just using it for example. But then you got the short-term investors that might say, hey, I'm gonna invest in you for a month because I don't trust it, man. You ain't got it right. But I don't get no interest with it. I don't get no yield curve. I just get my face value. I give you 50, give me 100 at the end of the month. That's what. So now all the long-term investors, they see the economy the way it is. They see the debt ceiling argument. That's what's happening, and they're saying we want our money back. They dumping it. They dumping the treasuries for the long-term ones. So you'll see it. It's called an inverted yield curve. It's going this way. It's supposed to tilt the other way, but now it's tilting this way. And people buying into the short term, and then they're getting out 2 months later. So they real quick. So they're looking at this month right here. They buying up the they're investing right now. They're buying up the treasury bills. You got treasury bills for anything from one month to 3 months, and then from 3 months to a year, that's called treasury notes. And then from anything from a year all the way up to 30 years, that's treasury treasury bonds. You see that? In the ancient times, back in the days, they used to give you an actual certificate. And this would be your bond. You had to hide it in the a safe. That was your bond saying, you gave me this for my government. And here go your bond. You see that? And it would gain interest. So now, what they're doing is, real quick, what's happening is that the long-term investors, they're losing that interest. So they're not getting paid monthly. So they're not guaranteed their money at the end of the year because of the outlook of the economy. You see that?
Instead of profiting, they're really losing.
They're losing.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
like with inflation going on, like if the long-term lenders are not wanting to lend, wouldn't that affect short-term lenders eventually?
If the long-term lenders aren't lending, the way it would affect it is the short-term treasury notes, treasury bills and treasury notes. The interest
Just go higher.
the interest would be higher, but the bond would be lower on the short term.
So it'd be almost like useless on
On both ends at some point. You see that? But it'd be smarter to get a short term and get in and get out now. So that's what they're doing. And for the long term, it would be more expensive to get the long term bond, but less interest.
So it's not really getting paid as much.
So either way, you're losing money.
Yeah, you losing,
on both
yeah.
ends. It becomes a cycle. And that's
Guaranteed
what
to lose.
that's called an inverted curve. That means it's backwards. And people getting in, getting out instead of saying, I trust your system, I'm in long term.
Like you gonna, so they don't think you're gonna be here 5 years from
They don't think it's gonna be here 3
years,
months.
Yeah, nah, right.
2 months from now. You can see it. Go back and look at the yield curve when you get home. That's what tells the economy, the investors. You know, so, and the debate that they're having goes into, somebody get Revelation 13 real quick.
And the investors will be these nations.
The investors is like the other nations, bankers, you know, China,
13.
the Federal Reserve, yep, companies, insurance companies. Hey, so long, brother. 13 and where it say the two horns, spake as a lamb.
11.
11, yeah, 13, 11.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 11.
Right, because this is where we at right now, man. Where that divide is really starting to stand out between the Democrats and the Republicans, the same way it stood out in the establishment of America. You see that? During the 1776? The American Revolution? Right, and it, you know, so now you have that same divide with the Democrats and Republicans. Republicans run the House, they run the Congress. So now the Democrats, they want to raise the debt ceiling. But guess what? It's on Biden's watch. And look how they did the Republicans. Look how they did Trump. So now the Republicans saying, you know what? We ain't helping you. We're going to let it fail on your watch. So they might not raise the debt ceiling. Which is going to cause what? A default, man. And if they let this happen, it's going to be because the Republicans didn't want to help the Democrats. And they basically, the Republicans are basically telling the Democrats, we need y'all to stop spending so much. Stop giving Ukraine money. Stop giving China all these bailouts. And stop spending on military. You see that? Going to war. But now, if the Republicans don't say yes, that debt ceiling will not get raised, man. It got to be on both ends. And they got to write it up. They got to agree. They got to do all that before June 1st. Really, June 5th now. They pushed it back. So they got to do all that before June 5th, or they're going to have to admit it that they cannot pay that $31 trillion back, period. And the feds can't take care of this place no more.
And going back to the littlest thing to take the system.
Yep. The littlest thing could tilt the whole scale from every direction. Russia, the BRICS, you got them lingering in the background. They're going to push them right out the mountain. While they back turn. They're going to push America right out the mountain. That's de-dollarization. And that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of this next coming month, and 2 months and 3 months, that the investors, they're going to lose their money. So they're pulling out. And what they're going to do, they're going to send those treasury notes somewhere. They got to put them somewhere. What they're going to do, they're going to buy up America. That's when America's going to be for sale. Everything here is going to be for sale. So what does that mean? They get everything cheap from China. You know, they said like 50% of our goods come from China. really 15% money-wise, but as far as tonnage, the weight, like 50%. That comes from China at cheap prices. So what's going to happen is the money here going to be worthless, so all the other nations can buy it up. So to keep the nations from buying up America's stuff, you know, and the mortgages and everything, they're going to have to raise the prices. Another form of hyperinflation.
If they raise the prices to where the people that's like foreigners, the banners can't afford it. People in America damn sure
can't afford it. You see where it's going. And then on top of that, the dollar losing purchasing power too. So it's getting pulled from every angle. Let's get it. Revelations again. Go ahead, brother.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 11.
Yep.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake like as a dragon.
Right, there you go. That's America. They got 2 horns like a lamb, meaning it's acting innocent, and like politicians. You know, that's why they say he go crouching so he could fall by his strong ones. All right, and he spake as a dragon, meaning they pushing all the policies of those over there in Europe, of these globalists. All right, of the Roman Empire. That was it on that? All right, so that's the divide. And now, again, America borrowed 75 million from France, and now that has reached up from all these different investors that invest in this place. That's why America's called the whore. You see that? They're running off with people money. They did the same thing with Russia and them. So now you have this divide, and you have America's debt ceiling, a debt at 31 trillion, and they cannot pay that back. That's called a default. And when they can't pay it back, what does that mean? That means the same reason they got the money from France during the Revolutionary War is to take care of the society, to pay their workers, and to pay for military equipment. So America's military, what's it called? Military infrastructure, the Pentagon and all that.
Industrial complex.
There you go. Military industrial complex. They're the ones that's causing these wars. Why? So the money could keep getting pumped into America. You see that? So now they going to war and the money not getting pumped in. They got no helpers. They ain't got nobody. The investors, they pulling away.
That's funny because when Trump was in office, he did a budget cut which took away 47% of funding for the military. So then when the Democrats got into office, they restored that back and then some.
Right. Yeah, they try to give loans to China.
Son.
You know? So, go ahead, bro.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 22. The sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation amongst the nations?
Right, how? How is this happening right now? We know because of the power of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That's how this is happening. The hammer of the whole earth. And the one that's holding the hammer like a gavel is these elite globalists or these Edomites. And they used America to hammer the whole earth, bring destruction on the whole earth, man. To get these nations to submit under their power under the European Union, which was the original first world order. All right, so that they can have their authority through the dollar. And now all of that's being swept away. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 31. It says the horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord.
Right, yep. So they can prepare all the tanks, they can prepare all their weapons. You see that? They can prepare all these means of war, all these different means of power and money, but safety is of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So also destruction comes from Yahweh. All right? I need a Habakkuk too, man.
This is help.
Somebody was reading second Ezra.
Second Ezra 16. My line was good.
We go real quick, just to finish the point. Good, so we show a good cheat.
All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 to verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Right, so at the grocery store, everything looks cheap. But on a major scale, dealing with banking, investors, everything's becoming expensive. You see that? And that's gonna pressure from above, pressure below. You know, and all the prices at the shelf going to skyrocket because the dollar going to lose its power, and they're going to have to raise the prices of your mortgages. You know, just everything that's leased. That's what the treasury bonds can buy up. Everything that's leased, mortgages and stuff like that. And land, they can buy Wall Street. You know, all that. That's why China owns Wall Street, allegedly. All right, because they send all that money when they want to dump their dollars. That money comes back to America. The birds come home to roost. The chickens come home to roost. And where did that money go? It can't go back into the system. What it does is they buy up merchant lands with it, man, property. Only thing gonna be left here is the people, and the people gonna be put in concentration camps. That's right, man.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Right, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right, a bunch of confused people out here. And the sword, the destruction is drawing nigh. Famine is happening, lack of food. You know, you go to the store, a lot of food isn't there no more in New York. In New York, they just put out an order saying they're going to have to decrease on the amount of meat and dairy that people can eat. What's that? Control, man. It's all. The name of the game is control. All right.
For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
There you go, man. So you're gonna have famine, and you're gonna have what? Martial law. You're gonna have race wars. All these things are coming, as we've been telling y'all, man. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. It's Isaiah chapter 14.
Yeah, this is a deep topic. There's gonna be a lot of yawning on this one, man.
Verse 4.
money and all that stuff.
It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
There you go. You want to speak on?
Okay. So basically, the wicked that it's talking about is the upper elites that's controlling this hammer, swinging this scepter of America to put pressure on all the nations. But what the Lord did, the Lord broke the scepter. That's why he's taking up a proverb against the king of Babylon, which Biden is sitting in that seat right now.
Right.
Verse 6. Verse 5, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. Right. So whenever this place falls, ain't nobody gonna be worried about it, man. All these other nations that America has pressure on, they're gonna be rejoicing at the fall of this place.
That's like seeing America fall to these other nations. That's like seeing that bully on the playground finally get what he had coming. And that's all it is. America been out here wrecking havoc across the world for so long. These nations gonna be so happy to see it fall, and nobody will come to his rescue when that time comes.
Right, man. All right. He said, what? The staff of the wicked. The staff is something that you use for power. The staff is something that you use to lean on and keep you from falling. Yeah. So they used America to keep from falling. They cover the evil covetousness to their house to deliver them from the power of evil. That's what Esau has done. They created America so that the rich can get rich, and you know, the poor can be poor.
And they can stay in the pits over there in Europe and control everything.
Yep, there you go. Yep. Yep, especially after World War II.
Right.
I don't like these damn people, man. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, you hold me up for a minute. Oh, you got one? We can bring out some interjections real quick.
Oh, no, I have a good.
Oh, you gotta have a good.
Yeah, I know which one.
All right, let's get this real quick. Let's get into it.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2.
Right. So they're stuck in the quagmire right now. Satan divided against Satan. That's right, because the Republicans not trying to help the Democrats, man. And that's a divide. And so there might be a chance that the first time ever, America may not be able to pay its debt. Default. Ever in history, man, of this place. Go ahead, brother.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. It says, and the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right, so we're making it plain before the people. All right, he said, write this upon the table of your heart. So we're making this real plain for our people that they can run in this race. But he said, if you're going to run in the race, he said you got to run correctly. And also, he said many run in the race, but one finishes or something like that.
One obtain the prize.
One attain the prize. You know, that's what this is about. So you got to run in the race and work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, and pray that the Lord will have mercy on you. You can't. He said, one of a city or something like that, two of a household. You know, so this is a race. You know, racing towards the judgment day. All things are racing towards that point. That's why the days are moving quicker.
It's the book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
Yeah.
So just going into what the elders saying, the division on America.
That's right.
How could this kingdom stand? And that's what the other the heathen nations are witnessing and seeing.
That's right, brother. Yep, they seeing it divided. They say, let me get this real quick.
Run the race.
Yeah, get that real quick. Bring it up.
God, this is the book of 1 Corinthians 9 and 24. Know ye not that which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain.
That's right, man. That's right. All right, so he said, many are called, but few gonna be chosen. You just gotta have faith. Somebody get Mark 3 and 26.
I got one of the other precepts about one of the city, two of the other.
Right after this. Let's finish up on that taking point.
Mark 3:26.
3 and 23, all the way to 26. And then right after him, bro.
It's Mark chapter 3 and verse 23. And he called unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end.
Oh, but has an end. See that? So we seeing the end of this place. All right? So they're standing up against themselves, and this house of cards is about to fall.
Precept.
The two horns that the Lord was talking about in Revelation 13, Democrats and Republicans. That house that infighting is going to just leave them open to attack from these other nations. All right.
It's Sirach chapter 21, verse 27. It says, when the ungodly curse of Satan, he curseth his own soul. So, hey, just like the brother was just saying, man, hey, you sitting here like the elder was also saying, so like, hey, when you sitting here fighting against each other, man, you can't even sit back and look and see what the enemy's doing against you, man. So that's why the kingdom's gonna fall. You sitting here warring with yourself, but not paying attention to what's coming towards you, man. You know?
And that just shows the division in America, like with the Republican and Democratic Party. If they point the finger at themselves, both of them wicked, so it's only going to be a wicked outcome, and that wicked outcome is destruction to this place. There's nothing they can do to prop this place up. Even if they do raise the debt ceiling, they're still going to be circling the drain, just like George Soros said.
And the red flag already went out to the investors. So even if they do raise the debt ceiling, them investors ain't gonna budge. They're gonna keep dumping those treasuries. They're gonna go from treasury bonds, they're gonna move to treasury notes. And once they move from treasury notes, they're gonna move into treasury bills, which means short-term investments. Get in, get out. And what does that mean? Short time for America. Because America is built up on investments. All right, lenders. Let's get into that. Habakkuk 2. Yep. Somebody get the lexicon on deck.
This is Habakkuk chapter.
Strong, I mean.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Right. So this vision, this prophecy, the spirit of prophecy is yet for an appointed time. The Lord has a set moment in time where this is going to happen in this matrix. Even though the Most High doesn't deal with time out there, he knows the perfect time to make these things happen upon this earth. Within this galaxy, on this tiny earth. On this tiny earth on the Milky Way galaxy. Tiny little grain of sand.
It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Right, though it's not happening on man's watch, it's happening right on time according to the Most High. Though it doesn't seem like it's happening quickly, if you look at the fall of every society, the fall of Babylon, ancient Babylon, the fall of the Persians, the fall of Judah, the fall of the northern and southern tribes, the 722 and 586. The Lord did it in the process of time. He kept warning everybody. You see that? It didn't happen like, I'm going to warn you today, it didn't happen tomorrow. No, the Lord, the Most High is subject to his own word. He said he does not move or disturb him.
Second Ezra chapter 4, verse 37. By measure hath he measured the times, and by numbers hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled.
There you go, said measure. Somebody get second Ezra chapter 9, he said he did not move nor stir them. All right, so the Lord is not moving or stirring up any of these nations until it's time. So we're seeing what? The Lord said he mustereth the host of the battle. And he said he shall stir up the spirit of the Medes. So the Lord is stirring these people up right now, raising up the kings of the earth. Everything's happening right now, man. And it's the Most High that's doing it. All right, interjection?
Second Ezra,
real fast.
Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1.
Yep.
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Woo, come on, man. Go ahead, you know it.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, uproars of the people, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Even from the beginning, the Lord has been measuring those times, and he's not stirring them or moving anything until the said measure be fulfilled and the appointed time happens, man. Just like with World War I, just like with World War II. All right. What was his name? The big new Brzezinski? The big new Brzezinski. I think that was his name. The guy that started World War I, that killed King Ferdinand. King Ferdinand, yeah. And his wife Isabella poisoned him. All right, over there in that's Serbia. Yeah. Anyway, so yep. Yeah, the precept.
This is Revelations 1 and 3. Blessed see that read them, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things that are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Right. So blessed are those that hear this word and that read. You know, that's the hardest part, getting our people to read. They say, you only believe something that somebody wrote. That's right. They thought about it. They were given a vision, and the Lord told them to write it upon tables. And that's very simple. That was the way of keeping records, chronicalizing everything in the ancient times, and then writing. All right? It's called transcribing something, going from physical word, vocals, and putting it into transcript, writing. So yes, we believe what the prophets spoke and wrote about.
I got to prove something on that.
All right, so yeah, man. Blessed are they that hear the words of this prophecy. It's all about prophecy, man. And the prophecies are flourishing. Go ahead, brother.
This is Psalm 68 and 11. The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it.
There you go. All right, so the Most High gave the word. Every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Father. He set everything in motion in this matrix, you know? And he said, great was the company of men, people that published it, man. So this is a business. All All right.
They got faith in the Constitution. Somebody wrote that. They got all kind of faith. Oh, the Constitution state. You know what I'm saying? But Yahweh Shemel outside, his word is the truth,
Right.
living power.
Right,
You know what I'm
brother.
saying? That's where your hope lie in.
Right. He said the making of many books, and none shall want her mate. Right.
Then it said, for the time is at hand, Revelation 1 and 3. We seeing Babylon fall right now. Famine around the corner, Jacob's trouble around the corner, all these trials and tribulations, this affliction that the world finna go through, it's here. It's by here. You can smell his breath just by. You know what I'm saying? Jay still want to play, you know what I'm saying? The time is at hand.
Right.
And it's up to you, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? You gonna trust in this the shadow of Egypt, which is falling, or let that be your shame and confusion, or you gonna trust in the Lord and seek him out while he may be found? 'Cause pretty soon he not gonna be found. And you know what I'm saying, that door of repentance is gonna be closed, and then y'all gonna travail as a woman with a child, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to know the Lord after pain by death. Death by pain, I mean.
Yep. Probably not the ones watching. They probably believe.
Oh yeah, come on. Just in general.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
All right. This is back at Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm gonna read verse 5 again. Verse 5. What's like? Verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Right. So that soul is lifted up because of their riches. See that? They got all the money. They was robbing and stealing, killing all over the earth. They got money that goes back to Rome, the Roman Empire. They got money that goes back to who was that? J.P. Morgan and all them. Yeah, man. Treasury bills that was back then that was almost worth $6 billion. So imagine how much they worth now. You see that? They own colors of crayons. The color blue that was started in Greek. There is no color blue. It's all black. It's just different lighter shades of black. The Greek Empire made the word blue. So the sky is not blue, it's black. Anyway, go ahead, brother.
It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Yep. So they're lifted up through their masonry and their paganism, man. That's right.
It says, but the just shall live by his faith.
Right. The just are living by faith, and that's what this is, a walk of faith, man. Not a walk of money, not a walk of guns, not a walk of 501c3 charters, not a walk of boasting of riches, $250 million like IUIC. The just are going to live by what? Faith. You see that?
Verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
Right, because these devils, especially here in America, have transgressed, meaning continually sin and murdering and killing all over the earth through their business. That's what that means, you know? Transgressive with wine representing their philosophies and their business. They said that made them proud, thinking America's gonna last forever.
Peace up.
That's right, man. Go ahead, brother, but you know.
This is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 4.
Right, but the Most High controls the heart of men. The Most High put it in these devils' heart. That's in Revelations. He put it in over there in Europe. He put it in their heart to give their power into America, until the Lord turns their mind around to where they take that power from America.
Pretty so. It says, trust ye the Lord. Isaiah 26 and 4. It says, trust ye in the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, forever. It says, forever in the Lord, Yahweh is everlasting strength. It says, for he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, he laid it low.
Right.
He laid it low, even to the ground.
That's America today. Them that be on high, man, these elites, he bringing them low before he destroys them. Sit down in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. There's no throne. Yep, both of y'all. Then actually Gabar next, I think. Yeah, Gabar, real quick, and then good. A lot of y'all, man.
In the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name.
Y'all, you know where that's at? Where it says 10 horns gave the power to the woman in Revelation, until the time of the Most High be fulfilled. It's something, right? You know, so I think we went over it before. They gave their power to the woman, to the beast.
17.
You know, strip her of our flesh and all that, burn her with fire. Go ahead, brother. My bad. Go ahead.
Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever,
Yep.
and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Right, but the Lord bringing them low right now. You know, the Lord is giving Edom their heritage. And this is the beginning of it, bringing them low, right in front of our face. He's going to turn back our captivity before our eyes. You see that? So when we getting raised up in the spirit, they getting brought low. So that medium is meeting right there. And when we get just a little bit over them, it's a wrap. That's spiritual power. And that's when this place is going to be in the time of Jacob's trouble. See that? All right, that's what we're waiting for, that little bit of sunlight to peek over the horizon. And that's their ass.
You want it straight to the point?
Yeah, because that little bit of sunlight that peeks over the horizon chases away the darkness. Go ahead, brother.
You want it straight to the point, or gave the power to the kingdom?
Yeah. Gave the power to the beast.
All right, I'll go a little bit ahead of that, right to it.
You can go a little bit ahead if you want.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. It's Revelation 17 and 14. He shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Right, so all these nations, what they're really setting up is to fight against the Lord and to fight against his people. All right, but the Lord is going to raise up his men, Barak. What's that? The world shall fight against?
It's the second address.
The second Ezra, right? The world shall fight against them. Shall fight with them against the unwise. Yeah, they fight against them against the unwise. All right, go ahead, brother.
All right. Verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are people and multitude and nation and tongue.
Right, so where the whore sitteth are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. Why? Because this is a business. United States business, that's what it is. And they make money off the people that's here. What you would call social security numbers, what you would call birth certificates. All right, that's called sweat equity. So they want more people here so they can make more money off the people, man. You see that?
Verse 16.
More slaves.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Right, so yep, so these 10 horns, right?
Okay.
All right, the 10 horns representing the European Union. All right, the new Roman Empire. They're gonna do what? I'm gonna break it down.
All right. And these 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
See, they're gonna show their hatred towards this place. Why? Because they're trying to move towards lifting up China as a new whore and give China the power in the new digital world. And they gave America the power in the fiat paper currency world. Now they want to move China as the new whore that will rule in the digital world, back in their digital currency, yuan by the dollar. I mean, by gold and silver and oil. America's digital currency is not going to be backed by anything. Hey, shalom, Michael.
Shalom.
Hey, these shall turn to hate the whore. It's an interjection to go with.
Yeah, and also, where it says sitting over many nations, those elites used America to rule over all these nations, man. All right, that's why America's dollar became the world currency, world reserve currency. And behind that currency, you had America's military. And they set up bases all over the world and oppressed these nations, man. And now the nations are being risen up and fighting back. That's the Most High's power right in front of our face, man.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed, because the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
Right, talking about America. What helped establish America? England. You see that? The Bank of England, the World Bank, Federal Reserve. Everything that helped to establish this place, America, they're going to turn and what? Despise it. All right? So they want to move towards something else. They said America's going to be lagging. They want America to lag behind. That's called what? Circling the drain. You know? Because the longer they keep America around, the more they're losing money over in Europe now. And they know that they have a short time because you got the BRICS nations coming against the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. All right, go ahead, Daniel.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
Right, what's that, Roman Empire? All right, go ahead.
And it just lining it up with today, all right, being it was revamped, talking about how it was healed. But I believe it was brought out earlier in Jeremiah 51, how it's not going to be healed anymore, being the revamped Roman Empire, because we are in that same infrastructure today, like what the elders speaking on with the Republicans and the Democrats, two wings of the same bird, and how the kingdom is divided today.
Come on, brother, and it's not going to be healed. We would have healed Babylon. They can't. Now it has no healers. All the nations are fleeing and going with each other, man. None of them are turning back. That's in Nahum chapter 2, I think.
Just as the time of old, I continue on. This verse 25, and he shall spake great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, the Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Right, so the greatness of the kingdom, what's the worst of the kingdom? That's going to be given to Esau. The greatness is going to be given to us. That's right, man. All the greatness represents abundance. That's why they call America Great Babylon, because it's been given abundance. You know, it's great in wealth and in power. So all the power of the earth, all the wealth of the earth, all the land, everything that you can think of is going to be given to the children of Israel. That's what's happening, man. All right, so that's why the power of the Panthers being stripped away from this damn place.
All right, this is Revelations 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall...
What are they doing?
No, no,
They're trying to get a squirrel to go to them.
Nah, bro, what they doing?
Huh? Something about a squirrel?
Yeah, they're trying to. It's some bullshit.
Oh, okay, I got
TikTok shit. Supposed to hypnotize.
I got one though.
Verse 17. For Yahweh have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled.
There you go. All right, so now you got those elites that helped to prop this place up. They invested in it. They got other investors to invest their money. But now the Lord is turning their minds away from this place. That's the Most High's power. The Lord said he put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, to prop America up, to build America up on pride in their business so that they could be judged. All right? So that the Lord's prophecies can come to pass. Go ahead, up.
This is Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and rebuild the desolate places.
Right, this is Edom. This is them, man. And it started with Herod. All right, Herod and his daddy Antipater the Idumean. Herod went back to the land of Edom, and he said, what? I'm going to come back and rebuild this, and I'm going to make it great. And then that's when he started looking for his spot in the Roman Empire as governor over Israel, over Judea. All right, and the Caesars, starting with Julius Caesar, that's who commended him and raised him up over Judea. All right, so he was the one that prophecy is talking about. They want to go back and rebuild the desolate places. So even today, they're trying to build what? Edom.
That's what I said, trying to build it right back up. But he already got the plan to destroy him right on again.
Right, that's why the Lord called America Edom. You see that? Idumea.
Let me finish it out.
That's what they want to build up. They call Blanco power, you know, white power.
Right? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever.
Right, so the Lord said, yeah, they gonna build, but the Lord put it in their hearts to do so. But so the Lord could throw them down, just like he did with Pharaoh. You see that? The Lord put what in Pharaoh's heart? He hardened Pharaoh's heart. All right, so the Lord raised up Esau to build this kingdom, to give their money and power over to this place, just so it can be a place of judgment for 2/3 of Israel.
And there's an Xbox 360 game called Babylon.
Yeah.
And what you are, you're like a god in the sky. And as they're trying to build Babylon, you throw rocks destroying it. Look it up. It's on the PlayStation. It's on the Xbox network. It's called Babylon.
That was you. You looked it up on Google though.
Yeah. America.
Yeah.
It's Babylon from the elder
Apostle Bar.
Yeah.
Elder Apostle Bar.
Yeah.
He typed in Babylon. He said, "Where is the daughter of Babylon?" on Google.
It's America. Yeah.
And it came up as America.
Wow.
I'm on that lesson. I just ain't. It's a whole lot of meat on that. I couldn't just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing it, but I gotta.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole lot of breakdowns, man.
Yep. All right, go ahead, bro.
But it's Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken.
Right, they're talking about the missiles, ICBMs. The fact that they went to a nuclear age, you know, ever since World War II. The Lord set that up for the destruction of this place, man, so his prophecy could play out. All right? He said he could have created monsters, according to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11, to chase people on the damn earth. He could have just shook the earth with his hand and crushed everybody. But instead, he chose through prophecy to show his power, through patience, through mercy, through the building up of a kingdom in the midst of enemies. To show who we should fear. Yep. We shouldn't fear man that can destroy the body, but fear him that can destroy both body and soul right here on this damn earth.
Question: has any other nation on the earth like used like nuclear weapons like that in the war since it's been like that?
Yeah. Yeah, Russia used it against Serbia.
Okay.
Yeah. They used it. That's what ended the Cold War. When they did that. Yep. No, that was United States. The U.S. and NATO, the spearhead, they used the nukes on I think Serbia. Yep. And that's what really ended the Cold War, so called. Yes.
O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art also found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord has opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
Right, so how did America strive against Yahweh? By Hashem Yahushua? By saying in God they trust. This land is your land, it's land, one nation under God. With Eisenhower in the 1950s. How did they go against the Lord? By calling this place a God-fearing country, being satanic, by going against the Lord's people, the Native Americans, the Latinos, and the so-called Negroes, by touching the apple of his eye. So they've been fighting against the Lord by doing that.
Propping up Jesus Christos.
Right, yeah. Christianity,
All that.
democracy, demonocracy, right? So those false images, yeah, man. Yep, I see you, brother. And so the Lord said, what? Because of that, he opened up his armory. He going into his armory. He brought forth the weapons of his indignation. Those weapons represent his indignation. All right, go ahead, brother. Let's run it down here real quick and then finish that up. Let's run the interjections. Go ahead, y'all. Let's start from Zariah, and then
This is Isaiah
15. Yeah, we can switch to somebody's phone. Probably Zariah, maybe.
Huh?
You got your phone?
Damn.
If not, I got my tablet. It might be cool.
76. This is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
Right, pure wicked offshoot of the ancient Babylon. That's America. Confusion, the business here, the idol worship, and the fact that the children of Israel are held captive here. Pure reflection of ancient Babylon. Go ahead.
Sit on the ground. There is no throne.
Right, so sit low. This place is being brought low, all the way down to hell, meaning the ground. All right? And he says, sit low, there's no throne, no more rulership in the world for thee. And that's what the Lord taking away, the power of this place before he give it that Kamehameha.
Final
O
flash.
daughter of
Right.
the Chaldeans, thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Right, so offshoot or daughter of the Chaldeans, man. A little whore. You know, just like their mother. All right? The Chaldeans representing idol worshippers and magi's or the elite bankers that helped to establish this place, right? That helped to birth this place.
Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers.
Right, so this is all example of shame. A royal woman, you got a picture, according to Revelations, where it said a woman riding upon a scarlet colored beast, being exalted, dressed in purple, meaning royalty. And was given all kind of riches, but now she's brought low and forced to waddle through the mud just like a slave, runaway slave. She got to get down off that high horse, show her bare legs. The skirt gonna be exposed. Uncover her hair. You see that? That's an exposed person. That is showing the shame of her. And that's what the Lord doing to America, stripping her down bare. You know, stripping
Thy
her naked.
nakedness shall be
Stripping her naked. Go ahead.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
Thy shame is gonna be uncovered, man.
Thy shame shall be seen.
There you go. Seen by who? The Lord is exposing America to these other nations like Russia and China, exposing the weak spot, exposing their backdoor policies. Their who?
Achilles heel.
Their Achilles heel, yeah. So they're exposing the betrayal of America too. They're exposing the corruption of the dollar. All right.
I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right, so the Lord is not going to meet America the same way he showed up in 37 AD. You know? When they try to put him on the cross. Now he's going to meet these devils. He's going to meet them as a mighty angel, like a lion, ready to tear to pieces. He ain't going to show up trying to shake in your hand and say, greetings, everybody. Yeah, he's going to
deals.
Right, they say he's going to roar. He's going to lament like a woman in travail. A lamentation means to cry out like a woman in pregnancy. He gonna snap. That's right, man. He said the day of vengeance is in his heart, man. He been holding that for 2,000 years. You got a point? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
That was it.
Yeah, go ahead. And then you got one too?
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 1.
You got one too?
Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
Right, yeah, America is full of lies and robbery, man. So that's why the Lord said, woe to this place. See, when they fought against us and put us in slavery, they was really fighting against the Lord. They touched the apple of his eye. All right, he said, the prey departeth not. Meaning they still keeping us and feasting on us. And feasting on 2/3 of our people like a dead host, man. All right, and they even raised up to some of our people as leaders, and like foxes in the desert, they prey upon the dead host too, meaning our people, according to Revelations 11. You know, they get rich and wealthy and fat off of the death of our people, man. The spiritual death.
I got you.
Yep. Go ahead, brother. Bro. Yep. Like a parasite. You know, and that's what you want to finish that up?
This verse 2.
No, interjection. Good.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. It says,
Yeah, wait, come back around again.
all right, for among my people are found wicked men. They lie in wait, they set snares, they set trap, they catch men.
Yeah.
As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit.
Yep, like IUIC and their school that they got, ISUPK, these churches, all of them are full of deceit, man. Cage full of birds. And the Lord said, what? Wide is the gate that leadeth to destruction, but narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, man. Go ahead.
Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they oppress the deeds of the wicked, they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
Yep.
They judge not, the cause of the they judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge.
There you go. You want to pick up?
Right. So that's basically the leaders of our people that cause them to err, man.
Yep.
They're not judging the fatherless. They're not warning them of the destruction that's to come. Because guess what? Because they think gain is godliness. So therefore, they're going to do whatever they can to get great gain. And then, so therefore, if warning the people means I'm not going to make any money, well, I guess they ain't going to get any warning. Basically, that's what it is.
Right. They pay these fake pastors to tell the truth. They would do it.
Yeah.
So instead, they're paying them to lie. Just like they're doing with YouTube. Just like they're doing with these companies. You see that? It's all about their agenda. All right? You got another doctor that just died recently too, man. He was the first doctor that came out and was warning people about the
Free throw.
yeah, man, snake poison. All right? He was the one warning people about it. His name was what was his name, man? Bakari. I'm gonna put it up. Yeah, he was Ishmaelite. You know what I'm talking about? He just died like 2 days ago out of nowhere.
I'm looking for.
Anyway, yeah, just let me know if you find it. Somebody have one down here?
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 29 and verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt.
Right, we prophesying against Esau in that same way today, and against all the inhabitants of this place. All right, go ahead.
Speak and say, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers.
Right, yep, that goes into prophecy where it speaks about the dragon that was in the river. That's talking about ancient Egypt, the Pharaoh. All right, go ahead.
Which have said, my river is my own, and I have made it for myself. But I will put hooks in thy jaws, and I will cause the fish of thy rivers to stick unto thy scales, and I will bring thee up out of the midst of thy rivers, and all the fish of thy rivers shall stick unto thy scales.
Yep, they're talking about their armies. Go ahead.
And will leave thee thrown into the wilderness, thee and all the fish of thy rivers, thou shalt fall upon the open fields.
Right, that's talking about their army. So the Pharaoh, the fish represent his army, just like America today. You know, their leaders and their army. The Lord gonna lead them what? According to the book of Nahum, lead them scattered all over the earth.
Hey, and Joel to the valley of Kidron.
Yeah. And Egypt fell around 664 BC under Taharqua. All right. So the Lord kept that. He made that prophecy come to pass. He had him chased out during the time of Egypt, you know, with the flood. But then he still kept that curse on him, you know, later on.
So what would it be for the second Egypt?
Now today,
the Lord still in the mix. Still have his hand, just like the brother brought out in second Ezra, man. He does not move nor stir till the said measures be fulfilled. The Lord is bringing the demise and the downfall of America, the mystery of Babylon.
Right, he changed not. He changed not, man.
How you pronounce that name?
Yeah, Rashid Butari.
Rashid Butari.
Butari, yeah, man. They got him out of there. Yeah, he was a problem. Hey, we're gonna switch to a different camera. This camera about to go out on us, so just bear with us, and y'all should see the live pop back up in a second. All right, so with that, we're gonna say shalom and see you. We're gonna switch cameras and cut it right back on. We're on 9%.